The correspondent assures readers that he has never personally experienced corporal punishment while wearing a skirt, let alone one made of leather, and therefore does not claim authority on whether the garments illustrated would have been suitable for any such disciplinary measures. Nevertheless, he doubts that the matter ever arose. According to information supplied by a former acquaintance familiar with the institution in question, the school was regarded as one of the more notable examples of England's so-called progressive educational establishments. Although ownership changed several times during the intervening years, it is doubtful that corporal punishment was practiced there during the period in which the leather uniforms were fashionable, if indeed it was ever employed at all. Turning to another matter entirely, the writer concludes from earlier remarks that his correspondent is either operating or travelling upon one of those formidable motorcycles which, he confesses, alarm him greatly when sparks fly from their metal parts as they lean precariously through bends in attempts to negotiate corners at excessive speed. The writer recalls meeting a certain Mrs. Sin during a holiday in the early 1980s. He and his wife, accompanied by another couple, entered a public house one evening for refreshments and found themselves in conversation with a blonde, middle-aged lady seated beside an older gentleman. During the discussion, it emerged that she was the very woman in question. For some 90 minutes, she entertained the company with colourful anecdotes concerning the unusual clientele she had encountered at her establishment in Streatham. Among the more eccentric stories was that of an elderly man whose sole request, apparently, was to be covered in dust from a Hoover vacuum cleaner. As the party prepared to depart, the lady extended an invitation to the two gentlemen to attend a New Year's Eve gathering. Their wives, however, were not included in the invitation, and for reasons not disclosed, declined the offer on behalf of their husbands. Elsewhere, allegations concerning inappropriate conduct in educational and musical settings have continued to attract public attention. One account described how a music instructor allegedly sought to reward or punish a young pupil, according to her musical performance, invoking antiquated notions of discipline. Another report concerned a mechanic who received a prison sentence after assaulting schoolgirls. Further cases involving individuals connected with educational environments have prompted broader debate about the conduct of adults entrusted with the care and instruction of children. One commentator observed that there are many forms of unsuitable behaviour among those associated with schools and educational institutions. While some instances may not equal the severity of the more notorious cases regularly documented in the press, it was argued that such conduct may nevertheless have a damaging effect upon the emotional resilience and development of children. Finally, a report broadcast on BBC Radio 4 noted that a school in Buckinghamshire had instructed teachers to cease using whistles to signal the end of playtime, owing to concerns that the sound might distress some pupils or contribute to anxiety regarding loud noises. Instead, members of staff were advised to stand silently and raise an arm to indicate that children should return to their classrooms.